Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of Everquest Old School. I'm AC Gamer, and I've been talking for the last 5 minutes, and there's apparently been no sound. So hopefully you guys can hear me again. As I said before, I definitely want to apologize to everybody out there who got all those notifications over the last day or so while I've been trying to figure out the tricky business with my internet. I thought it was a router problem. I thought it was a modem problem. I thought it was everything on me. I tend to blame myself more than I would blame, a company for doing something wrong. And it turned out that it was, after a 3.5-4 hour call to Comcast that didn't go anywhere except a really bad migraine and a very, very unpleasant sleep. Yeah, it was working this morning. So I'm going to take it. I'm not going to complain. I'm going to be fine with it. And there we go. Donald, let me throw you in the call, dude. I didn't get a reply back from you on Skype earlier, so there he is. Let's see if we can get something going with him. We're going to play my Necro until we can figure out what we're going to be doing. I know some people are going over and they're killing stuff for the Ring War right now, working on faction. Somebody else sent me a tell. All right, so Donald may be busy. Here I'm just hitting people up randomly instead of asking him first. What we got? But yeah, one thing I was kind of mentioning is I would love to have a toon such as this that has the ability to go places that you normally don't get to see as a group player. Now, I know I am all about groups. I have mentioned that many, many times in the past. But there are a few places like Western Waste. I'm kind of envious of shamans, especially now that Cypher, a very good friend of ours, is leveling up his shaman seriously. I'm looking forward to the day that he can show footage of killing dragons solo, or even like a druid who is level 60 running around kiting those worms that spawn over there. Those are zones that most people will run through, but never fully get to experience as a solo player. Now, you can get a 2 or 3 man group going in that area. It's very difficult. The people have to be on par with what they're doing, and they need to be somewhat geared out, if not completely geared out, before you even try something like that. I don't remember ever really doing that back in the day, so to have a toon like this that can go to zones, especially far out of the way zones, even dungeons that you get to see a different side of. There are camps that you will go to as a group player that will give you insane amount of experience, will give you great loot. But then there's camps that you will go to as a solo player that you would never touch in a group. Oh, look at that. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. A really good friend of our guys, he comes out, gives me clarity from time to time. His enchanter is camped over here. So that is a nice little boon to our playtime here. Let me go ahead and put on Dark Pact as well. I believe they both stack. No, they don't. Oh, crap. Okay, well, I'm an idiot. That is why it disappeared earlier. I apologize, Kel. That was, It's a Necro. I can see why they say they don't want clarity, because they're always having that skeleton illusion on. And I didn't realize. I'm an idiot. Okay. So, yeah, Breeze would have been easier, because it doesn't take my life, and I wouldn't have to worry about it for like 20-30 minutes. Let's see. Okay, so there's a griffin out there. Let's see if we can grab one of these. They're pretty fast, and it is kind of moving away from me. We'll see if we can snag it. There we go. Big Ton, hey, how you doing, man? It's good to see you. Oh, crap. My pet is gonna get me aggro, isn't he? Yep, he sure is. So we're gonna fear this, and then I am gonna feint it off. Because I don't think my pet's gonna win that battle over there. Squire Wembley, he is... Actually, he's yellow. Huh. I knew it was going to get to the day where I might actually be able to take that guy on. So I think I'm going to give him a shot here in a minute. Yellow could be possible. Might be very, very close, but I think if we're full mana and we're ready for that fight, that could be fun. Necro regen's better. I think that's why I also give HP regen to Necros. Yeah, I think it is better at the same level, but isn't there a gap between how much damage or how much mana you're getting off of that? Is that mine? I think it is. I think he's coming back. It's kind of like the, oh man, the strength spell that you get off of a druid versus a shaman. Depending on who is higher level is which one's more powerful. I don't think my Dooming Darkness or Engulfing Darkness is going to land. And it did. Alright, so we're just going to have to dot the crap out of this thing since we no longer have our pet to do that deeps. Let's go ahead and recover a little bit of life. Looks like fear has worn off, so he was about to smack me in my face. It's a very costly set of circumstances here. Okay, that should be enough. Looks like he's going down pretty fast, 27%. Actually, he's not even moving at 27. Fear spell has worn off, but he's not coming back. Let's see, as long as Engulfing Darkness, Heat Blood, and Heart Flutter stay on him, we're good to go. Oh, nice. Alright. I gotta go get my pet back. And Squire, you're going down, dude. Wherever you're at. I don't even see you anymore, but we're gonna kill you as soon as we can. There might have been somebody else who killed him. There's somebody over there who is yellow to me. Now, I do know that is a great spot to camp. That was something that I was hoping to move into as I got a level or two. Make it a little bit easier on me. But I have taken on yellows with this guy. I wouldn't probably do it with like a warrior, but with the necromancer, I think it's safe, right? I think it's doable. Let's get away from that guy. We need to met up. I need to get dark pact on him. Yeah, we're gonna put my pet back up. Now, I have been incredibly lucky with my pet as of late. I probably should have said this after I had summoned him, but I have been incredibly lucky being able to summon a blue pet versus the greenish ones that you semi tend to get, especially towards the end of your level range before you get a brand new one. And look how much bigger that guy is. The dude is huge. That's weird. I can't wait till I get... Oh man, what's the name of the pet? It's the one where it makes him look like he's a little bit fresher of a skeleton. He's a little redder. And then of course you have the Spectre pets that you get all the way at level 60, which I think I'm going to get anytime soon. I'm going to enjoy the trip up with this guy. But how's the video, guys? Is it going fairly decent? Is it not sputtering at all anymore? I'm hoping that's the case, because I was having some major issues the other night and was not a happy guy. We had an open raid to go get Seb keys, and we were going to do the Kale Arena afterwards. And unfortunately, all we had time was to get the Seb keys, and we were able to show it at least on Nano's channel, Nano03 over there. Go check him out if you haven't seen him already. But yeah, he was able to stream it, and I believe we got maybe... I think it was like 9 or 10 people, their Seb keys in total. So a pretty good night overall. No buffering here. Nice. Nice. Okay, good. That's what I like to hear. So we're going to be doing some killing with, I think Chupa said he's going to be on in a little bit. Nonal's on his way home. Cypher is also on his way home. So we're going to have a nice group going. So if any of you guys have suggestions on what you would like to see us go kill tonight, I believe everybody's kind of open to, you know, playing alts or mains. I would at some point, not that I'm going to rush to do it, but I would at some point love to get level 60 on my cleric. He's very close. He's about 20% away. He's been about 20% for the last few months, but it'd be kind of cool to have at least one level 60 here on P99, since I don't. I've been playing for about 3 years, and he's the closest I've gotten. As far as spells go, he gets at what is it, Ages, which is, oh, I don't know. It's like a blessing and a curse. Looking at how much mana that thing cost is ridiculous. So I might be able to cast it 3 or 4 times if I'm extremely lucky before I am completely out of mana. And then I hear it costs 4 paradots for every cast. And it's a single buff, so it's not like a group buff. I'm getting everybody in there. That's expensive. So I can see maybe putting it on my tank and possibly the enchanter if he's taking a lot of hits. Beyond that, I don't think with my measly earnings I'll be able to afford putting it on anybody else, and I may not even be able to afford putting it on them unless I spend more time down in Seb. Now, as a necromancer, I've never heard of them actually being able to solo down there except possibly in G. I know Cypher with his shaman has been thinking about trying to go and solo the CE area by himself when he gets high enough level. And as a shaman, I think that's probably doable if he's extremely decked out, and he is. So there is a necromancer sitting over there at the bridge. I think he took on the guy over there. He is yellow to me, so I think that was his stuff. So we're going to leave that alone. I'm actually going to put Dark Pact on because I know somebody's screaming at the computer monitor to do that. And we're going to go out here and start pulling some more mobs so that I can get level 20 and use my clicky, which I think I'm close. Not so much. Need a little bit more work. Where is that clicky? Do I have it on me already? Yeah, there it is. I need to use that. I need that in my life. Cloth wristband. I do have a better wristband in, I believe it's my warrior's inventory right now. It is a plate wristband, but apparently I can use it on a necromancer, and it gives me +7 intel, some strength, a few of the other stats out there that are kind of nice. Stamina, I believe, which is pretty much my hit points, and a little bit of mana, I guess, if you think about converting it later on in life. But he's getting there, slowly but surely. He has some really good pieces, and then he has some pieces that are just so-so. Definitely needs an upgrade to his belt. There's a cheapy one, I think around 400 or 500 plat that I could get. I think it's the cinch cord, but yeah, he hasn't really needed it. Again, as a necromancer, you can get by with very little equipment from what I've been told, and from what I've seen, it tends to be true. This guy, he does about 30% of his magic on a fight, unless it happens to be a pretty rough one or something goes wrong. If my pet dies or fear just doesn't seem to hold that well, I might go through a little bit more. And I think there's going to be ways to augment that. There is it a staff or a scythe that you can get that allows you to cast fear instantly. It's a clicky. So that would be nice. I can get rid of another spell gem, have maybe another dot, or Mez. Mez is something I haven't used any of yet, and as a group necromancer, that is invaluable to the groups that I have been in. Anytime there is a necromancer looking for group, I tend to almost think of him as a crowd control character, somebody that can bring that to the table. Realize it's not, nearly as good as the enchanter, but it's pretty good. And I would settle with that if I had to. Oh yeah, we're gonna get this Reaver over here. It looks like, is he almost dead? Oh no, somebody's already soloing. Okay, we'll leave that guy alone. Hey, Penny Plays Games, how you doing, man? Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're having a good day, and hopefully the stream is doing fine tonight. Again, I do have to apologize. I'll probably be apologizing many times today for all of those crazy notifications you guys must have been getting yesterday while I was trying to figure out what was wrong with either my modem or my router, which actually tended to be neither or. It was just Comcast being Comcast. So, yeah, I do apologize, guys. I know that was probably fairly annoying and filled up your inbox with notifications. Okay, we're bringing this guy back. Super easy camp, though. I'm liking the Karanas. I know we've been here for a while. Would love to go over to the Gorge at some time and, maybe kill over there. That's another zone that you don't really get to experience anymore these days. Not that it's horrible. it's just not as easy. A lot of those guys tend to charm or just outright suck. Those giant eyeballs and things in that zone, not the easiest creatures to kill. And the loot over there is not all that fantastic either. So we're going to go ahead and put on Leech. And we'll throw 1 dot on him. Heat Blood, probably overkill, but we'll throw it on him anyways. We're trying to recoup more mana than we're losing per fight, but that guy tends to break fear several times, and I don't really want to spend the mana on casting it. There he goes, it broke again. So we are going to have to cast it anyways. I could run him around if I had Spirit of Wolf. That would be exactly what I would do, because he was so close to dying. Stream looks better than last night. Anything would have looked better than last night. Oh my god, that was horrible. I don't know what was going on, guys. Comcast. What up? Glad your stream got fixed. Me too, Juicebox. I'm very, very glad. For a while there, because I had no idea what was going wrong, I thought for sure I would have to take a break from streaming and just do the... I was calling it old-fashioned recordings. I don't know if you guys remember back in the day when I first started, they were all offline recordings of me and the guys. And I used to start every video with, hey guys, welcome back to Everquest Old School. Now we just been doing the live streams, and I've definitely been enjoying that a lot more. I'm able to talk to you guys, I'm able to interact with you. You guys are able to throw comments out there and start up subjects, and there's something addictive about it. Definitely a lot better than just playing with a few people and then like talking to yourself, which is essentially what I do. But yeah, I'm glad it got fixed, and I hope that doesn't happen again. Okay, so let's see, 43%. I guess I could pull. I like to be at like 60% just in case I get a yellow, but I haven't seen a yellow in this zone other than that named guard over there in a while. So I don't think yellows are going to be too big of a concern. We're going to go ahead and sit my pet down, and we're going to see if we can find another one. Now, if I could get to level 20 or maybe 21, crag spiders would be something I'd be interested in trying. I have done crag spiders a lot. So I don't think I would spend a lot of time there, to be honest, just because I'm kind of burned out on that area. But I have seen plenty of people make a lot of money over there selling the spider silks, especially if you can get in there early, like when the server first comes out. So if you're playing on a progression server or a time lock server or something along those lines, that would probably be a pretty good camp. And of course, you could work on your trade skills if you didn't want to sell it. Yeah, you didn't seem or sound too happy last night when you were getting keys. Yeah, I was. At that point, that was like the beginning of a fantastic night. I had a really good time getting the keys with everybody. But then later on, I went on a call with Comcast for about 3.5 hours, and you guys can expect how that went. Customer support. I don't know. There's something about. I understand their side of it. I understand, the things they have to do because it's the people they deal with sometimes don't know the basics of anything. But I get a little tired of being treated like an imbecile who doesn't understand that power buttons exist and there's a wall outlet and power comes out of it and needs to be plugged into it. And oh, look, there's a monitor and it has things on it. I understand, but stop babying me on that kind of stuff. Maybe we can skip to the middle or possibly to the end since we've done this so many times, especially since you can see it in your call log that I've called like 15 times that day. Let me skip by the beginning stuff, please, just for once, but they won't do it. So you got to go through it all, and by the time you get done with that, you're no longer in a happy-go-lucky mood. You weren't in a happy-go-lucky mood when you first called anyways. Obviously, there's an issue, but yeah, it's one of those things that just kind of irks me. Everybody has those little pet peeves. If you guys have one, I would love to hear what they are, especially if they have something to do with EQ. Like, what's the one pet peeve that just drives you guys nuts? People not paying for ports, people running mobs to the zone line. Hopefully that's not your pet peeve, because if it is, there's several zones I would stay away from. But yeah, everybody has something, so let me know what drives you guys nuts. Dark pack, there we go. I keep forgetting to put that thing on. Silver mist, no, we're gonna leave that guy alone. We do got another dark stalker walking in on us. It's experience coming to us. So I'll wait until he gets a little closer, send my pet on him. Let my pet take a few hits here and there, I think is good for him. Builds character. Plus, he regenerates so much quicker than I do. So I'll go ahead and let him get that aggro for a minute. Throw my engulfing darkness, which will probably pull aggro immediately. Yeah, I figured it would. Maybe a little bit longer would have been... there we go. So, you know, I was right on key right there. I didn't have to worry about it. And we're going to throw in Heat Blood. Now, I like Heat Blood a little bit more than I like Heart Flutter. Heart Flutter, again, is a great dot if you want to stack them on top of each other, but I'm not a huge fan of it. Tends to eat a little bit more mana than I would prefer. It doesn't seem like it gives you, you know, the efficient mana that you can get out of some of the other ones. And I could be completely wrong. I am definitely not an expert on necromancers by any stretch of the means. Pretty sure what I'm doing here could be considered an inefficient use of my mana. Alright, my leash has fallen, and I'm at 13%. You know, not horrible looking at how much experience I'm getting per kill, but definitely not as good as, say, doing it in a dungeon. So I might try that. I do want to try some guards. That's, I think, a little bit higher up in my level chain before I get to that point. Let me take a look at my equipment here and see what I need to get. You know, it's okay. I shouldn't turn my nose at it. I'm sure somebody out there thinks that's great. That could be increased. In fact, I do actually have a few pieces of cloth from, I believe it's Kale, so I could turn them in Thurg. That might be worth doing on this guy. I always thought I would do it on my wizard. I think my wizard could probably benefit from that a lot more. Hey, Cypher, are you home or are you still on your way? Cloth pants? Oh, man. What is it with my tunes and having, like, really horrible pants? Just kind of doesn't make a lot of sense to me sometimes. But I think this right here, the Sorcerer Bowl, was kind of the driving force in playing this character a little bit more. I got this over in Tower of Frozen Shadows. I believe it was with Thum. We were going through trying to get him his summoning dagger. The one that summons bandages, I should say. It's the skinning knife or something along those lines. And we killed up there for, I would say, a good few hours before the name finally popped. And when we killed him, we never got the dagger for him. I think we actually ended up just buying it. But yeah, this dropped a few times, and I happened to win the random on one. So this is an amazing piece. I think this is going to be something I stick with for a while to come. And then, of course, Allure of Death. That is the Necromancer only. That Chupa was very, very kind to do that quest for me. He's a big fan of doing certain quests. He knows them very well. He can do them really, really quickly. And, you know, they're just amazing for certain classes to have that kind of thing. So it's cool to have a friend like that actually likes doing quests in Everquest. And go figure, right? I still have a turban for you, I think. Oh, sweet. So we could get a better helmet. Let's take a look. This is the one we're using. Oh, yeah. Pretty much anything would be better than this. So we'll have to take a look. It may not be as beautiful, though. I mean, right now, you got to remember, this dude is one sexy beast. And if we cover up his face, you may not get to see all that beautiful dark elf glory. I think we can risk it, though. Still at the library downloading Sick Nick, been having some of those issues lately on P99. I don't like it when I'm soloing if I've been having a good time in one spot for a while and someone starts soloing near me for no reason. It's like going to a movie and having the theater to yourself and then someone sits down right next to you. As someone who like grew up at the movie theaters, my dad owned a drive-in, then a movie theater, and then later on we ran one after we kind of got driven out of the market. But yeah, I know what you mean about the movie theater thing. Plenty of times I would be in there as a kid after school watching a movie that had been out for a couple weeks, not really a blockbuster, nobody really in there, and then all of a sudden somebody comes in and they sit down right next to you. There's just some people that like to be next to other people. They don't want to go in there and have a movie by themselves. So I think that's what drives it more than anything. They were never like creepy kind of thing going on. Nobody like, oh, hey kid, you want some ice cream? But yeah, I think it's more of they want it to be a social aspect, less isolation. Because a movie theater is pretty big. You know, you got to go in there. At least they used to be. I don't know about the new ones. All the stadium seating kind of changed the way the auditoriums tended to be. But yeah, as far as soloing goes, they have been talking a little bit about that in Skype lately. People soloing over the NG camp in Seb or Disco, and then somebody coming in basically saying they had the camp before you got there. And somehow the mobs roll up the moment you got there and you kill them all, and now they show up. It's a little weird, but I tend to try to play nice with other people. But at the same time, you gotta use your head. You know, somebody could just be trying to go in there and snipe your camp from you. I know we discussed with Chupa, he had this kind of experience where he was camping the AC. And he was, I believe it was in Ocean of Tears, is where he was doing his, not over in the Oasis. And only one person could really do that camp at a time, so there's kind of a waiting list. You know, people waiting to get their turn in there. And he logged in. There's a guy sitting there. He sent him a message because, you know, the AC was up, and he got no reply, and he waited a few minutes, and then he went ahead and killed it. And it wasn't until like 5-6 minutes later the guy finally replied back to him. He had gone AFK and missed it. The guy wasn't even that upset. You know, he wasn't upset at all, really, that he lost it. Because he knew that Chupu had been there earlier, so it wasn't just like somebody came by and snagged it. But yeah, if you can have an area to yourself, especially off the beaten path, those are things you have to worry about a little less than normal. Uh-oh, watch out if you're a kid in a theater by yourself and someone sits next to you. I grew up at the movie theater. It wasn't creepy to me. You know, it happens a lot, whether you're a kid or you're an adult. The one thing that drove me crazy, absolute nuts, because again, we didn't have stadium seating for the longest time, so you maybe had a gentle slope in front of you, maybe like an inch down per seat. Like, I think it was less than an inch, actually. It's probably like half an inch to a quarter of an inch. But when somebody would sit in front of you, and they're tall, like, that would just drive me nuts. And it would happen a lot. My issue with soloing was if the other person messes up and dies, suddenly I could have 2 mobs on me. That's actually a really valid point. See, so you weren't getting bitter about, you know, mobs being taken or, you know, somebody just maybe, I don't know, you know, just like kind of crowding you. You're actually more issue of if they can't handle their own stuff, now you have to handle it for them. I guess I don't run into that too much with the Necromancer yet. Things go bad, I can always just feint it off. But yeah, I loved growing up at the movie theater. I think that was something I didn't really appreciate as much as I should have when I was a kid. Of course, you know, you don't really appreciate anything when you're younger as much as you should, but yeah, I love that because my TV, quite literally, was the movie theater screen. And when people used to show me their TVs in their house, I was never impressed. I was never blown away. Even nowadays, when somebody has like a 60, 70-inch TV, or they're using a projector in their own home, it's so much smaller, and the sound is nowhere even close to the movie quality sound. I remember when DTS, Digital Theater Sound, came out, or THS came out, and the very first movie we got to play with DTS was True Lies, right? So True Lies came in. We had a technician actually come in, and he had a scene for Backdraft. It was a 5-7 minute scene of a film that he brought with him. He'd throw it in there, and he'd run it through the projector. And of course, with DTS, I don't know how many of you guys know what that looks like up there in the booth, but you know, you got film, which has its own sound, and then DTS came with an actual DVD, and sometimes multiple DVDs. And all that was on those DVDs was extra sound effects. So you could play the movie perfectly fine and not have any loss of sound. It's not like they're going to be missing their voices. But all those little tiny effects in the background, like in True Lies, there's a scene in that movie where they're shooting in the bathroom. And without DTS and the sound effects that came with all the shell casings that actually fall down in different areas of the theater to give you that immersive film, you wouldn't have heard any of those. So being able to sit smack dab in the middle of that movie theater and turn up the sound as loud as you want, and just witness, because that's what he did. He would sit in the middle of the movie theater, run the 6 or 7 minutes of Backdraft, listen to it. He'd go back up into the booth, make a few modifications to the system up there, come back down, do it again. And hearing him tweak it in, a lot of the stuff I couldn't hear. Like, this dude was definitely an audiophile. He knew what he was doing. Professional. Got paid something like 60 grand for like an hour. I mean, you know, lots and lots of money involved in that. But you only had to have him come out once every like 4 or 5 years, if that. Like, once he set it in, as long as you didn't touch it, you were golden. So, really good. He did that for all the movie theaters, or all the auditoriums that had that in there. And as a kid, being able to go in there, or a teenager, I guess I should say, go in there and hear the difference, you know, blew me away. Actually, just mind-boggling. I haven't seen anything like that in movies in a while. I haven't seen any huge upgrades. The last thing that I remember on the way out, when my family got out of the business altogether, was that they were talking about streaming the video wirelessly through the internet. And the only thing I remember thinking on that one is that's gonna suck. A lot of the time in bad weather, extremely bad weather, people would go to watch movies. You know, they lose power at their house. Movie theater had power. It's raining cats and dogs, or something that tells people they need to leave their house and go to the mall and watch a movie or something. At least it used to be that way. So bad weather usually is not the greatest time to stream something. Never heard how that worked out, if that became a thing or not. Might get 2 here. No, we only got 1. That's good. I don't even sit next to the people I go to the movies with usually. I usually leave a space in between somebody I go with, if it's just a friend, just so we could put like the popcorn bag there. You know, that way they don't feel like they have to keep asking, or you have to put it down or something. You know, you have like an area that kind of goes into. So I get what you're saying on that. Plus, I like to have both armrests rather than having to share it. The Astrodome. Those of you who ever went to the Astrodome here in Houston, that used to have armrest on both sides for each chair. So you didn't have to share those. You could, you know, kind of sit back and relax, and there's a lot more space. And then they came out with NRG. It's the actual initials of a power company here. Made the chairs about half as wide, and your knees are now up into your chest because they're half the leg room that you used to have, if not more. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I don't like that stadium at all. Yeah, it sounds awesome growing up with access to the movie theater. It's great for birthday parties, too. I miss those 90 Arnold movies. You know, we had a conversation a couple months back about where did all the action stars go? Like, you got Vin Diesel, you got, was it Jason Stamos? I think that's his last name, right? It might not be. But yeah, you got some of these other guys in there every once in a while. But I can't think of the one iconic action star today that could really take the place of all the ones we used to have. You know, you used to have Arnold. You used to have Sylvester Stallone. He used to have, what's his name? The Dolph Lundgren. I think I'm gonna get his last name wrong. Which I found out he's actually an incredibly smart guy. I didn't realize he had like a PhD. Which is strange for an action star, right? But let's do Dark Pact. Rest a minute. Statham? There you go, Statham. Alright, sir is going to get off here and get those games downloaded and get home. Alright, man, Cypher, I will see you when you get back. We'll throw you in the call. We'll see if we can get up to something. Is he Uncle Jess on Full House? Really? It's all just Tom Cruise now? I guess. I never really considered Tom Cruise as a replacement to those guys. Yeah, he's an action star. He does the Mission Impossible movies, and I hear he does his own stunts, which is absolutely nuts. But he's still doing stunts at his age. I hand it to him. I'm not going to say that that's not impressive. It is. But yeah, I miss the old action movies, you know, where things were exploding, but you also had the combat-related kind of thing, but then you had the really good action dialogue. So think of like Bruce Willis, which tends to do a movie every once in a while. In fact, he just came out with one now that I'm thinking about it. He did the remake to Death Wish? I think it was Death Wish, right? Which looked like it might be a decent movie. I'm not huge into remakes. I think I've seen my share of them and kind of over the whole remaking everything these days, but it could be fun. I mean, Bruce Willis tends to do okay. He did those Red, Retired but Extremely Dangerous. I like the first one. Second one wasn't, you know, to each their own. I mean, I'm sure somebody out there liked it. But those Die Hard, man. Die Hard, the first one. Back with Professor Snape, Quigley Down Under. Dude was an amazing bad guy. Blew my mind when I first watched that movie. Was not expecting the scene where he's talking to... What was his name? Oh, man. He's talking to the guy in charge. He's asking for the password, and the guy just won't give it to him. So he just picks up the gun and blows his brains out. Like, that is something you see in modern movies, but that is not something you saw in the 80s. They didn't show you that kind of stuff. So for him to do it so callously and just kind of like, boom, there it is. And he's like, let's get to work. Was, yeah, like Bruce Willis was even shocked from that kind of thing going on. Alan Rickman. Yeah, I can't believe I keep forgetting that guy's name. He unfortunately did pass away recently. Great bad guy. You ever see him in a movie? Amazing at the role. He did a few other movies towards the end there that were like romance ones, and he did a fairly decent job in those. A little bit of comedy every once in a while, but there's just some people that know how to play that bad guy, and he was one of them. That's what the MCU and Transformers are for now. Explosions everywhere. Awesome in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, man. You can pretty much name any movie he's in, and you're going to get my vote. Why a spoon, brother? I think of the scene with Han Solo in Star Wars, where he adds on the fact, you know, I don't know if you guys heard, I'm sure you have, Star Wars is a famous movie, and the line is pretty famous in its own right, but he's going down into the carbonite, and, you know, Leia is saying, I love you, and he says, I know. That wasn't in the script. He threw that in there. Harrison Ford ad-libbed that, and it's a classic scene that is so Han Solo. You wonder why that wasn't written in there. And that's what the actor brings to the table, or used to. You know, you don't really see too many of those 80... there's so many 80s movies that you can go back and you can just quote pretty much the entire movie in lines. Like, you just... Surf's up, dude. You know, right as you hit him with the surfboard from The Last Boy Scout, where they're talking about it at the end. You know, like, you need that call phrase or catchphrase. Yippee-I-K, mother... You know, like that in Die Hard. Thinking like the newer movies, they don't have those. They're a little cheesy, I know, a little over the top maybe, but they're fun, and I think that's what movies always used to try to be. There's a little fun, escapism, yeah, semi-realistic, but come on, you know, the Die Hard guy surviving everything he survived, you know, give me a break on that one. Unless he's an actual Rambo, that ain't happening. Hey, not on you. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, so I missed you on the call. Let me see if I can throw you in there. Also entertaining in Dogma. Yeah, again, like one of those comedy roles that he would throw in from time to time. He was the neutered angel, I think, that came down to convince her that she needed to do what she needed to do. Are you there?
Yo, man, what's up?
Hey, welcome, man. So you want to do something tonight? You want to get into some EQ action now that I got my internet up? We can celebrate.
Oh, I thought you were like wanting to go dancing or something, dude.
Oh, yeah. You know, got some clubs nearby. It's only going to take me like 40 hours to get to you.
Yeah, dude. What's going on?
Not much right now. Just killing some stuff on my Dark Elf.
Right on, right on. You're Necro, right?
Yeah. I can load on to my warrior, right? You got your cleric still?
Yep. Whatever you want to play, dude.
Yeah, Soul B sounds fairly decent until we get something going. That was working for us last night.
It's like our hub until something else happens.
Yeah. Well, it works so well.
Yeah. Yeah. Right on. I'll go on.
Right.
That guy here in just a second, dude.
Let me get rid of my pet here so I don't lose at least all of this magic.
So you got it working, huh? Did you have to scream at anybody? Because you don't seem like you're that type of guy to scream at people. Just saying.
I'm a super nice guy, but last night it was not nice. I'm sorry to say. I wish I could say I was nice to those people because I hate to be mean.
Somebody an idiot brain, dude? Did you call me an idiot brain?
I've never called anybody an idiot brain, but I did use some very foul language. Towards the very end of it. I was on the call for 3.5 hours, and one of those times where I went through for about an hour, they put me on hold, and then they hung up on me.
Oh, dude, that and then they didn't call you back, right?
No, they did not call me back.
See, that's what really gets me hot.
I was steaming.
Because before you could do anything, what's your name? What's your finger? You know, what's your fingerprint?
Blood test. We want a sperm test.
In case we lose your call, and then they don't call you back when they get disconnected. Then I go through the roof when they don't call me back.
And they want you to unplug it and plug it back in and tell you your IQ number. I was not a happy camper. I apologize to those people up there, although they didn't do anything for me. Absolutely nothing. And then it just worked this morning, so I'm a bad person. Alright, let me switch over. Hey guys, and welcome to the disembodied voice of AC Gamer. We are definitely going to be doing a lot more series in the future, but here are a few of them that you guys might find interesting. Of course, you're more than welcome to check them out. I would love to hear your comments. Again, if you do enjoy these videos, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. It's definitely the indicator that I use to tell if you guys want to see more videos like that, of that particular game style, of that series in the long run. So when you guys leave comments down, it helps me decide whether we should keep doing it, as well as whether you want to see games like that in the future. And here are a few of them right here. I kind of picked out a few of different genres. We will be doing spotlights for other YouTubers in the future. So if you want to get a little shout out, definitely let me know. If you group with me, chances are you will get a shout out in here eventually. But for now, these are just 4 series that I have that I feel like could use a little bit more attention and that you guys might actually enjoy as well. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we will definitely catch you all next time.